Hello again. Welcome back to part 2 of me taking the truck apart. I'm going to keep it short and simple here because I know this is not why you clicked on the video, to see me talking. At the time of taking all these videos that I had made, I was under the impression that the truck had an issue with it that turned out to be not the issue. I didn't even get to find out by myself. So my dad, the one night, he decided that he was going to tear into the truck, tear into the motor, and he found out what the problem was. So with that in mind, I'm still going to be uploading all the parts I did. I know there's not a lot of videos on, especially guys my age, taking these trucks apart. I never went to school for mechanics. I always grew up and learned to do things by myself, especially since now we're just getting into 2025 and stuff here in Canada is getting a lot more expensive. I make under $100,000 a year. Just week on, week off type of work. So basically everything I have is going into this truck right now. And I'm still trying to afford all my other living expenses. So if you are one of those people that likes to do things by themselves and you don't have a whole ton of money or experience when it comes to it, you're pretty much in the same boat as me. You can take any vehicle into the dealership for one issue, get the vehicle back, and it'll still have that same issue and maybe even another one. So this is either if you like doing stuff by yourself or if you want to learn how to do stuff by yourself. That's kind of what I'm making this channel for. So stay tuned, watch it, don't watch it. If you have one of these trucks and you find this video helpful, subscribe, like the video, comment any questions, ask me about future plans with the truck. And if you end up liking what you see, then stick with me, follow along. I'm new to this whole thing. I don't know how regular I'm going to be posting on here, but it's going to be a journey. I mean, you got to start somewhere, and we're going to see where that journey takes us. So on these headlights are a bunch of little 10 mils. You take them out, you got clips like that holding the far side of the headlights in. There's another brace that kind of goes back and over, but I already took that off. And that has the 4 holding those in. If I can remember, that is for another plastic piece that I took off. Oh, I think that's for the top of the grill. Is where those go. It's for the top of the grill there. And then the rest is just clips that hold the grill in. You can just pull it out. But after you take off the grill, you can take this off, this big long fucker. And I think to take that off, it's all of these. So these are all the same. It'll be the same for taking all these ones out. So there's these screw locations that go into that top bar. That top bar goes across here. Let's see, it kind of screws in right there, pretty sure. And then there's another screw location down here. Oh no. No, so these would be those screws that I took out for that top bar. Then all those other screws must be for this. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm pretty sure that's all that's holding this little front piece in here. And then you have this harness too. We already unplugged this last night, but this harness. So that is for the winter control or whatever. That's what closes the vents in the wintertime. So that's kind of just a bunch of clips. These clips suck. Honest to God, it took me forever to get them out. But for the headlights, a bunch of these, shit, don't lose that. A bunch of these little 10 mil screws that go in. Kind of see how it's outlined a little bit. So you got 1, 2 there. 1 here that would be taken out once that top bracket is taken out. You got 1 there. And after you're done taking all those out, you have on each side, driver and passenger, you got T15 screws that are kind of just holding it in place. So once you get those out, you can get this little plastic front piece off. The rest is just held in by clips. Like if I were to pull this out, so see, so now the only thing that's holding that in is these 3 screws down here. Once you get that off, I think you should be able to pull it out. Pretty sure. But I'll figure it out. Do not lose your screws. This is a prime example of what not to do. Yeah, I remember feeling that and thinking I should have just used a pry bar. It actually hurt a lot more than what you saw in the video. For the rest of this clip, it's basically me just trying to figure out how I get this corner piece off. Little did I know where it's connected to the front fenders, there was just more clips in there that all I had to do was push down on, and that piece would have come out. Now, I was only using one hand, and I recorded all these pieces with my phone, so that's kind of why I wasn't able to get it off. In the next slide, it'll show you me undoing some screws, and you do not want to be undoing those screws. But I'll still put in a piece of that video so you can see which ones I'm actually talking about. So now that I've found these other screws, I can tell you with confidence, it's a 7 mil. A lot of the shit on this truck is metric. Yeah, a lot of the bolts and other screws that are on this truck are metric. But little did I know I was actually in the wrong spot. And that's what I meant when I said there was little to no videos on taking any of this stuff apart on YouTube, which is actually where I find a lot of my resources for how to do the things I do. But I was pretty confident I was going to be able to figure this out by myself, so my stubbornness led me to undoing all of these on both sides, which is something that you should not do. You don't have to do it. I think it's just for taking the fenders off, but I thought it was going to help me for taking headlights out. You don't have to do it. And here I am showing you both sides. I think I ended up spending an hour wasting my time on that just to try and see if it would help me get those side panels off there. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend going through what I went through. It wasted part of my day, and I used time on that where I could have spent elsewhere. So once you get this side plastic piece off, to my discovery, ooh, you got one more 10 mil screw there. I don't know, I think that's, yeah, I think you have one more right there that holds it in. I think that's it. and you can pull it out after that. Oh, pretty sure, right? Yep, that's it. Once you get that plastic piece off, as I point out, those are both 10 mils. Take both those off and you can get the headlight out the rest of the way. Now that the headlight is loose, you have this little side plastic piece. So you can't get the headlight out until you take this out. Just because of how it's put in there. It's kind of hooked in around that side. So you can't turn this side out, which means it has to come out this way. Luckily for me, I'm pretty sure I was able to just pull this down yesterday. I don't know how I fucking did it. There we go. This come down more. There we go. That's how I had it yesterday. There. Oh, so much room. There, now I can work at this comfortably. You know what I need is a flathead. I don't want to pull that whole fucking thing out. That looks like it's moving pretty free. Yeah, flathead. Got the headlights out now on both sides, which means I can pull this out. So this is kind of like that winter vent sort of deal that was behind the grill. So I don't know. All I know is that I have to get this whole front end opened up. I have to get it all handled. I got all my parts back here. Trying to figure out where the fuck I'm gonna put this. And it's kind of weird because I'm doing it all with one hand. I'm not like everybody else that's filming this shit with all their fancy cameras and GoPros and stuff. Nope, I'm using a phone. I think I'm more concerned with getting these bars off first. There was another set of bars that kind of, can't remember how they crossed. I think they crossed over like this, and they kind of went to that top piece. So this next part is for me, because I think that's the one. That's the bag that I labeled. No, that's not it. What the fuck? Oh yeah. Yeah, I think. Is that it? No, shit. What am I doing? That's not it. Uh-oh. Where'd I put them? Oh. Okay. Sometimes I really do surprise myself with how slow I can be. Whew. Yep. Yeah, would have never thought. What was it? 5 years ago? 5 years ago I graduated high school. Minimal knowledge. I'm not really saying I know anything about this, but it's humbling. Very, very much so. And there's so much going on here. I don't even know. Now I have most of the front end taken off. I'm still not done yet. I have so much more. I gotta just get to it. I think those are, I don't think those are 15s. I think they're 18s. Could be 16s. That looks like. Everything on this truck is metric. Is that not metric? Grab the 15. No, it's a 15. Okay. So far everything I've used is a 10, a 15, a 13, a 7. I think there were some that were an 8. No. Nope. Yeah, so the 10, the 15, the 13, and the 7. Pretty sure. And where's it? I think I used this one. I think so. I used that one and that one. Or, yeah, yep, that one, that one. T15, T25. I'll take the top off. Take these bars off, so 13 and a 15. All this. That can stay on there. Horns. I'm gonna disconnect that right now. So the harness for the horns, the clip is right there. I can't even pull down on that. Bony fingers aren't good enough. Yeah, oh. I think that's the condenser. Okay, I'll get to it. I'll go over what I'm done. So after a little bit of fucking around, oh, this is where I'm at now. A lot of the front end taken apart. So, what was it? Those bars that were coming down, move from here to here. Okay, 15s. 15s. 2 down there. I just screwed the bolts back into place. The horn was sitting here, so that is a 10 mil. That's all that was holding it on. As soon as you get that loosened off, that little nut there, and you get this taken off, pull it up, pull it out. Simple as that. What else did I take off? There was a little plastic piece that was kind of sitting on top here. So that just had all these little clips that you push and pull up on. That's how that one goes. And then it'll slide out from right there. And then there were a couple more brackets that I mentioned before. So these are the 13s. So you take those off, it'll pop right off of here. That's just kind of hold the whole rad and fan assembly and everything else in place. Let's see, I got the hood latch undone. So when you do the hood latch, there's a wiring harness hookup down there. So there's like red tabs. All this newer shit has red tabs on it. You push the red tab back, and then there's like this little tiny black clip piece right there that bridges. You have to push that in and pull it off. Keep in mind you're doing it right next to all this, so careful. And then once you have that disconnected, it'll still be held on by this, so you got to push it forward off the thing. I think it was sitting like that. So once you get to this point, you can spin that however you want and then just push it off. It'd be pretty easy to see which way to go. And then yeah, this little hood latch kind of wrapped into there. There is an easy way to take it off. You don't have to rip the whole fucking thing out. Just kind of open her up with both your hands, and you can pull this cord out. I just kind of let it dangle in there for now. Further investigation, I had to pull these out. So this little clippage in there, that's a new type of clip I never seen before, but that one goes in that spot. This one goes right there, upside down. And this one would go back where that like vented insert goes. So that's good that we have that off, but then you're not done yet, because then you have part of the same harness. You have another one down here that clips into the back of the fan housing right there. So you pull that one out. I don't know why these gray ones seem easier to pull, but yeah. There's also this. That's part of your cooling. So these just kind of clip in on 2 different points here. Those ones are pretty easy to pull out, but this is aluminum, so gentle, please. Again, I don't know how much all this shit is to replace, but it's probably a decent amount because it's a truck that's 3 years old. Yeah, 3-year-old truck. So after you get the 13 there, the 13 there, the 13 there, the 13 on the inside right there, same thing on this side, 13, 13, 13, and the 13 in there. You have the 10, the 10, and the 10. Don't worry about that one. You also don't need a wrench on the other side, I guess, because it's secured right to the body, all the nuts. So both sides, get all those taken off, keep all your bolts in a safe place. Don't do what I did and drop a 10 mil in you know, a catch can of coolant. You can just kind of slide her off. I don't know why this side is glued on. I mean, this other side wasn't, I don't know, maybe just got unstuck, but it's kind of peel away. There. Now, it's off. I should probably mention too, this is the rest of the harness from the hood latch. So this all just kind of clips into the back of this. So that's just something to keep in mind. And probably as soon as I get this off and put all the screws and bolts back into their place, I'm going to be taping all of these just to point out exactly what they're for. So not only am I marking down you know, the bolts that I took off of what, I'm also going to mark down everything on each harness for what it goes to. It's because then I can look back at the video or whatever and figure out exactly how it all went through and make it look stock. I want it to look stock. It is not going to be stock. But take that off and figure out this mess. I don't even know. Maybe even try taking the bumper off. Good. There's more harnesses to undo down there too. I mean, it has to be done, so why not? Next part is done. So I've taped off every single harness, every little clip that I've already taken off, and I've labeled them. That goes for up there too, anything that I've done up there. Now I'm going to work on trying to get this out. So I got to figure out which one is, I think that's the transcooler, that's the condenser, that is for sure the rad, but I also got to take the fan off too, or leave it hooked up to the rad, I don't know, but I got to figure out which one to leave on, because whichever one's the condenser, I can't take off, which is going to be, it's going to be a fun one. So I guess for now I'll just kind of go over these clips here. So you got these plastic pieces, yeah, on both sides. This one's kind of iffy, whatever. For this, if you have a pry tool, go ahead and use that. Let's pop these clips out. If you don't, this is like super soft. Super soft. Like, you know, so if I were to go under this with a flathead, you do have a chance of tearing it. So just kind of move it into a better place where you can get at it. Once you have some freedom, some movement room, just take a pair of needle nose, stick it underneath, slowly pry up. So I did with that one. I want to know how much of this stuff I can actually reuse. So far so good. I haven't broken anything. I'm also not bleeding. But Might not stay like that forever. We'll find out. Anything that's newer like this, 100% label everything. Especially if it's gonna be apart for a while, label everything. That's what I'm doing. It's probably best case scenario. If you don't have a lot of storage, keep your plastics and all your metals and everything in the box, and anything that's electronic in there. A little bit more done, piece by piece. So, got the top rad hose off. That goes to the top of the rad, and that one goes to the water pump housing. This one connects to the lower rad hose from right there. It comes underneath of the cooling reservoir or coolant reservoir. And I took both of these hoses off. So this one that's the top rad, top engine. So I'll show you where those go. Top rad hose that goes from the reservoir over there comes to this top one here, and that top engine hose actually goes to right there, and then that top rad hose goes from there over to there. So stuffed some rags in, did that. There's another little harness piece there. Just kind of marked it off as water pump. That's pretty much as far as I've gotten. If you don't have a pair of these, I suggest you get them. They're really handy. Piece by piece. I'm just trying to get the rad out. If I can get the rad out, then it gives me all that free room to the front of the motor, and I can figure out what I gotta do next. Let's see, this is the lower rad hose, so that one goes all the way down there. Maybe that isn't the lower rad hose. Either way, I still got a lot of figuring out to do. Might see if I can get this fan off next. I don't even know how long I've been doing this today now. Just so you're aware, when you go to deal with this, there's a lot going on. Transcooler, condenser, radiator. Get your transcooler off, which you're gonna have to do. There's gonna be this little black tab that's over top of there, and then there's a clip. Right, so you gotta get that clip out of there. This is one of those times where you shouldn't listen to me. Don't remove any of what I just said. Just undo those fittings with the hex heads on them. I just pointed to it and make your life a whole lot easier. For the radiator, there's that one there. It's kind of how I found out you could do it with a flathead. You have to get that off. I'm also trying to get the battery box, or not the battery box, fuse box off, because there ain't no fucking room there. While I was pissing around, I also took this harness clip off for the fan. There shouldn't be a lock on it. Oh, maybe there was. It was already opened up though. Okay, well, that's probably the lock. So just adjust it, unlock it, and then push down on this black tab right in the middle, and it'll pop right out. Then, now this whole fucking mess. So there's like 4 different clips in here. You got this clip right here, which goes to that spot. You got this clip, which goes right in there. And you got this harness, which clips in right there. You got this part of the clip, which goes right in there. Is that all? that it? I thought there was more. Might be it. Okay, and then for the back, you've got these. So these hook up to your trans cooler. It's kind of screwed in to the back of the rad right there. So you gotta get that one off. And then there's another one. Oh, there's another one right there you have to take off. Be another one right there that you have to take off. Oh, this clips into the condenser, so you can pull that one off. You have this that you have to take off right there, so that's also for the trans cooler, and that's screwed into the back of the rad. And then both of these lines right here go to the condenser, so you can't touch those. You can't take them off or nothing. There's a bunch of other little clips in here too. There's that one right there. And there's that one right there. So GM, why do you gotta make your shit so fucking complicated? Once you have all that loosened off, you pull the condenser off this side of the rad, get this plastic piece loose, push that top tab in, and then you lift it from the bottom up, you know, and then it'll be off. So now the rad is separated from pretty much everything else, except for probably whatever hoses there are left. So you gotta do that one down there, bottom rad hose. It looks like some of the trans cooler or condenser lines are still hooked up to the bottom there, so I gotta deal with that. Bottom rad hose is there, so I gotta take that off. I think once I am done all that though, I can pull the rad. But we won't know until we know.